Touch the tripwire of the Valmara 69 bounding landmine, and ball bearings should be blasted through those of you seated in rows A to G at over 1,000 miles per hour. Literally.
Oh no.
Those in rows H.
Baby Cthulhu, I chose the wrong seat. I'll see you on the other side. To Pasta Land I go. Welcome to TobyPasta. Today we're going to be talking about some creepy commercials. Grab your popcorn and your sody pop and let's get on to the scary commercials. This video was made possible by my members Dalton and Noemi1. I truly appreciate you guys. If you would like your name at the beginning of every single TobyPasta video, consider becoming a Spooky Crew Club member for $4.99 a month. Go visit TobyPasta.com for more details. Mets. Judderman. The year was 2000 and the UK was introduced to some nightmare fuel. It was this guy, the Judderman. This creepy dude was made as a mascot for a drink by Mets, an alcohol brand by Bacardi that serves a type of beverage called Alcopop, which is a mixed alcohol beverage with a small amount of alcohol. Just a teeny bit, perfect for the pasta man like myself. The commercial is set in a spooky forest and features the brand's infamous mascot, the Judderman. The Judderman is a ghostly figure that looks like he's up to no good. In the commercial, he lures an unsuspecting man who seems to be lost in a forest, eventually putting the victim in a dreamlike state after drinking a bottle of Mets. The commercial's overall atmosphere gives off a creepy vibe that heavily mimics the off-putting nature of old stop-motion films. I find that if I was young and I saw this, it would definitely make me want to keep that nightlight on, just in case. Scary NES commercial, Nintendo of Australia. Back in the late 80s, Nintendo unveiled their hugely successful video game console, the Nintendo Entertainment System, which saved video games and helped the company become a household name. But during this time, things were new and fresh, and different sectors of the company around the world were trying different advertising campaigns to cater to new audiences. Old Nintendo games were known for being incredibly difficult, so Nintendo of Australia thought it was a fantastic idea to make a commercial to taunt the customers into trying to beat the Nintendo games. This commercial starts out with a creepy looking 3D announcer. He introduces Nintendo, and he's a blocky 3D robotic businessman in gray, greeting us with great monotony in his intonation. He's very garbled and difficult to make out, yet perfectly understandable at the same time. Listening closely, we find the following sentence.
Nintendo Ultimate TV Game System. Aim your Sabagan.
The introduction is so unsettling, at least for at the time, because by then, or by the late 80s, our technology was rapidly evolving and we were used to seeing video game advertisements attempting to be more and more cutting edge. But here, they look more like they came straight out of another plane of existence. Later on in the commercial, more characters come in and repeat the following sentence: "You cannot beat us." They are clearly challenging us at playing these Nintendo games. I definitely hate being a random Australian kid when this aired. That'd have to be core trauma, and that was only a 30-second video. Carb Solutions. Baby shower. This commercial is probably one that many people nowadays consider to be the creepiest commercial ever to air. For not only the nature of the commercial, but because it was lost to time for a very long time, and it haunted people who wanted to rediscover it. Carb Solutions was a protein shake brand back in the early 2000s, with unfortunately not much info about it. They are mainly known for this commercial campaign, which not only featured this commercial, but another one with a lady on an airplane. But before we get into that one, we gotta talk about the demon lady here from the baby shower commercial. In this commercial, it begins with a baby shower. The camera pans to a lady in a blue blouse named Ginny and a lady in a yellow sweater who asks if she tried this dessert. Ginny responds that she's on a low-carb diet and that she shouldn't try it. Ginny then looks over at the cute baby shower present, and as she looks back, she's faced with an orange devil lady trying to convince her to eat the pigs in the blanket. Ginny responds calmly by telling her friend that she'll have a protein bar that she brought with her. The commercial ends with the following tagline: "It's good to be good." So for this campaign, that's how it was. It introduced a demonic entity trying to guilt you into eating something that you shouldn't be eating. So Carb Solutions is there like, nah, you eating good, you eating good. So that's kind of what happened with the airplane commercial, okay? It's kind of the same face, but it's not as scary as the orange demonic lady. Moving on. Halloween gift gaff. If you're looking for a true commercial to fit with the Halloween spirit, look no further than this one. And I know Halloween passed, but it's Halloween every day. This ad was created by giffgaff, a mobile network company from England. The commercial begins like a horror movie. The final girl is running away from the horror villain. The villain is then seen running with a chainsaw. The girl is on the ground and scared for her life as she believes she was done for. But the villain just runs away from her. Confused, she sees that the villain was being chased by another villain, a clown, who that villain is being chased by another, a possessed demon, and another, and another, and another. A never-ending chase, or so we assume? Hilariously, it cuts to the final girl orchestrating a choir, and it turns out to be the villains, who weep from terror. The tagline for the commercial says, "When you're scared, you're not the boss," which is absolutely true. This was an ad for a mobile plan, and I gotta say, it gives me the fun vibes of Halloween from when I was growing up. giffgaff created other great Halloween commercials as well, and I find this one to be very enjoyable and lighthearted. I thought I'd add this one to give us a breather for other upcoming creepy commercials. Are you ready? Because we're getting into some spooky territory. Hashtag Publu Shocker. I'm gonna warn you, this one is disturbing and shocking. I remember seeing this ad when I was younger and it scared me. Actually, it scarred me. It kept me up for a few nights, okay? It begins with people going to a bathroom at the bar, and as they go to wash their hands, they're greeted to a jump scare that'll make them have to use the bathroom again. A mannequin head smashing through the mirror with fake blood seeping onto the sink. The message of this commercial was to remind people to drink responsibly. Honestly, it's kinda crazy how this was approved and made. Was this actually done to unsuspecting people, or were these people paid actors? Turns out, it was all fake, but made to look real. This commercial was made by a marketing agency called Leo Burnett for the Campaign for England's Department for Transportation, aka Think. When this was posted, it immediately went viral as people believed what they saw was real. They thought the head that crashed through the mirror was real. Back then, I guess you could say with the quality of the internet, it kinda looked real if you look closely at the pixels, but now you can easily tell that it ain't real. It's very eerie, but I do think it was effective. Drinking and driving should be taken seriously. I honestly wish it was taken more seriously. But I definitely see with this commercial how people who saw it thought it went too far. Just be careful, folks. Okay, the next commercial will be a little tame. I hope you like Wario. Whew! It's a Wario! He's here to tell you to subscribe. Isn't that right?
Very, Toby, what a most wondrous notion thou hast conceived. More subscribers doth mean more eyes upon thy moving pictures. Well done indeed for thy violent efforts to lure more folk to gaze upon our tales. Thou art a sharp-witted knave, my hearty comrade.
Wario, that's random. How Shakespearean of you. When did you become so medieval?
After Nintendo made me the buttock of the joke in every Mario game, I had to turn my life around and carve a new path.
Completely unrelated to Wario's comments, Nintendo had the fantastic idea to disturb the unsuspecting viewers with this cartoony commercial. Wario begins with attempting to control your mind to convince you to obey him. He exclaims that he's the master now, and that Mario is our enemy. The music that plays while Wario tells you to obey him with his attempts at mind control is quite eerie, simply because it sounds ominous and off-putting. It's not too disturbing, but I would have to say it's a comically out-of-pocket commercial, especially for Nintendo, since they turn Wario into an insane and weird person to creep people out. Also, the attention to detail on the animation is outstandingly impressive, and it makes the whole commercial much more spooky and awesome. It's not the scariest commercial, but it would have still given me nightmares if I saw this as a child. Goodness gracious.
Changing my ways was the best thing I had to do here, Toby. We know what we are, but know not what we may be.
Your medievalism is creeping me out, man. Out of all the commercials we watched, this one still haunts my nightmares. I've seen this commercial like 3 times, and each time I see it, I get chills down my spine. You'll understand why. This commercial will be censored, but if you're interested in seeing the uncensored version of this video, the video will be available to Spooky Crew Club members on my website. Become a member today at TobyPasta.com, link in the description. This commercial begins with a spooky electronic bass line and a POV shot of a fly flying over buildings. Pretty ominous. It then cuts to a wealthy looking woman sporting a fancy coat arriving at a destination, a fancy clothing shop. The woman walks in as a butler opens the door for her, and then you see the butler swatting a fly away. That's odd. The scene then cuts to air vents filled with flies, and the music gets more uncomfortable as the sounds of flies overlay the music track. The woman enters a dressing room where a man hands her a jacket to try on, and as she's trying this coat on, the POV shot of the fly appears as the fly flies around the room. It looks to be that the fly is looking for something, and it finds a particular coat. The flies become more excessive as more flies fly through air vents and into this particular coat. Is there something in there that these scavengers noticed? When the store manager arrives to serve the woman, he puts his hand on the coat, and when he does that, the shot switches to a scene of a bug landing on something rotting. The man then caresses the coat, while the shot suddenly switched to maggots crawling on a rotting surface. A man then coughs, and the man and an assistant leaves with what looks like they were cueing the manager to assist the woman in looking at another jacket. A black jacket that's centered around a set of people. The scenes then cut back and forth, from bugs eating what looks like flesh and the woman and manager walking over to the coat. The woman then reaches over to grab the jacket, and as she does, it reveals the jacket sitting on rotting flesh with a mountain of maggots falling down on the ground, with the music ending with a horrific impact. The shots shown are utterly disgusting. The video ends with the following message. When animals are killed for their fur, two kinds of scavengers move in. The difference is, the flies don't know any better. This commercial was made by the Lynx Educational Trust and Animal Welfare Group, and it was played before horror movies in the cinemas in the UK. Now that right there is quite disturbing. An effective message that I completely agree with, but my goodness, the horrors that came upon this commercial is something else. What a brilliantly disgusting commercial. The music is disturbing, the visuals are disturbing, the overall atmosphere is disturbing. This is all out disturbing. Did I say it was disturbing? It's a definite good fit to play before horror movies, and it's one of the creepiest commercials I've ever seen. But there is one that I would say is at the same level as this one. But before we get into that one, I have some honorable mentions sent in by you guys. A little while back, I asked y'all what you would consider to be the creepiest commercials, and here are some notable ones you've responded with. Live With It PSA, sent by Inducted Crane 150. This 40-second PSA shows a man who constantly sees a still child on the ground everywhere he goes. You could tell he looks sad and remorseful throughout the ad. The ad's message is, kill your speed or live with it. This is another ad by the Think campaign, and it's to remind people that there's a speed limit that needs to be followed. The commercial is dark but crucially effective in telling the message. This is real life horror. This can happen. That's the disturbing part. PTSD is no joke, so drive like me and drive slow. Who cares if people pass? You're the one who's winning. Filipino RC soda commercial, sent in by the Crispy Pub 14. A more light-hearted commercial compared to many entries in this video. A kid walks in looking disheveled. The boy asks his mom if he's adopted. The mother questions him and asks who told him that. The boy then says that people at school are teasing him and say that he's adopted. The mother makes a point by telling her son, "Son, haven't I told you not to take what other people say too personally?" The boy then responds by demanding his mom if he's adopted by asking her to explain why he has 4 glasses on his back. He proceeds to show, yes, 4 glasses on his back. The mother responds, "We've kept this hidden from you for a long time, my son, but I think it's time you finally found out." She then pulls off her head to reveal that she is in fact an RC Cola bottle. What in the world? This commercial is hilariously terrifying. Faces PSA, sent by Nessa Blue. Considered to be one of the creepiest PSAs out there, Faces shows a curly-haired woman smiling, with a happy theme starting. Her face then slowly changes while the music fades. Her face changes from looking healthy to looking unhealthy. The skin looks wrinkled and she looks tired. The way her face changes makes it highly disturbing, especially the last look at her before it fades out. Drugs can do this to you, so don't do them. Be like me and replace that habit with chocolate milk. Thanks everyone for all the responses. This final one was one that someone mentioned while asking about creepy commercials, so thanks to Proto Martyr for agreeing that this commercial is one of the most disturbing that's ever aired. Ever. The commercial in question is Tanning Can Kill You by the Danish Cancer Society. This commercial is going to be partially censored, but once again, if you'd like to see this commercial uncensored, then become a Spooky Crew Club member today for only $4.99. The commercial begins with a woman entering a tanning room and getting ready to enter the tanning bed. She undresses and puts on some tanning lotion while chill music plays over the speakers in the room. the tanning bed suddenly turns on, and she excitingly goes to sit down on the bed. As she finishes putting on the lotion, she goes to take off her bra, and as she reaches to do that, the bed falls on her and smushes her to death. The commercial ends by telling the viewer that tanning can kill you. This commercial is awfully frightening because of the sudden shock at the end. It's abrupt and not what you'd expect. It was not what I was expecting, and it definitely reminded me of Final Destination. If you know, you know. Watching this one for the first time had me flying off my couch, and made my heart skip a beat. I really shouldn't have put this commercial on full blast. I find it scarier than a lot of shocking commercials that previously aired. Perhaps it isn't as scary to you, but I was not expecting the tanning bed to squish her like that, and it even drags on for a couple of seconds right afterwards. Heebie-jeebies everywhere, man. Tell me in the comments if you've seen this one and if it scared you pretty bad. And if you like this video and want to see more, then you wouldn't want to miss a video about disturbing PSAs, huh? Go check that one out, and be sure to subscribe and like this video too. Have a great day. Bye!